Improving your English skills effectively goes way beyond just passively exposing yourself to English listening sounds. It requires active engagement and targeted practice. In today's video, let's talk about some of the ways that you can go about improving your English listening skills. If you stay all the way to the end, I'll also give you some tips that are going to help with your English listening success. Are you guys ready to find out how to improve your English listening skills? If so, then let's get into it. First, let's talk about how you can practice active listening. Active listening is about fully concentrating, understanding, and responding to what is actually being said and not just passively listening. You need to be fully present and minimize distractions. Focus mainly on the speaker's words, tone, and any nonverbal cues if you're watching. Also, don't interrupt. Allow the speaker to fully complete their thoughts. Listen for the overall point. First, what you want to do is try to get that main point or overall message, and don't necessarily try to focus on every single word that's being spoken. Next, listen for details. Once you do get the overall idea, if possible, go back and listen again, and this time you're going to be looking a little more specifically at what words and details that you can pick up. Take notes. You can write down keywords or phrases that you pick up as you go along. This will help you to stay focused and retain information. Just make sure that you're not trying to write down every single word as you hear it. After listening to a segment, see if you can summarize it in your own words, and this can be done out loud, this can be written down, or mentally, of course. And this is going to help you confirm whether or not you understood what you're listening to or not. And this is going to take us to the second point today, which is to utilize podcasts or audiobooks, and if possible, make sure that they have transcripts. These are great because they come with a wide range of topics, accents, and because many of them have transcripts, it's going to be a great way for you to improve your learning. The way that you can make these work well for you is to choose engaging topics. You want something that's really going to hold your interest. This is going to help you stay motivated to keep listening. You can practice something called layered listening. So on the first listen, what you want to do is listen to everything in that podcast or in that audio book and do it without the transcript. On your second listen, what I want you to do is take that transcript and then read it as you listen. Here you can highlight or note unfamiliar words, phrases, or any parts that you don't quite understand. On the third listen, what you want to do is one more time without that transcript, go back, listen again, see how much more you can understand now and compare to that first listen. You can also try shadowing that content, which is where you're going to try to repeat that speaker immediately after they're saying it. Focus here on mimicking their pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm, and it's going to be a great way for you to train your ear and mouth at the same time. You can also use speed adjustment. Many podcasts and audiobooks allow you to adjust the speed of the playback so you can start slower if you need to, and then gradually increase the speed as you improve. I recommend trying to find ESL or English as a foreign language podcasts. You can also find native speaker podcasts or audiobooks as well. These are going to be important because you want to find varied speech as well as clear speech. When using audiobooks, try to start with simpler books and then you can always increase your level as you go along. Next, try to engage with news and informational audio. News programs and lectures provide clear and often structured speech, which is going to be great for comprehension. Make sure that you listen to broadcasts from credible sources. Lots of news websites offer the audio version of their news articles. I recommend BBC World Services. You're going to be able to hear various international and British accents. Also on things such as NPR, you can hear a lot of different American accents. TED Talks are also excellent exposure to lots of different types of speakers. They're usually going to have clear pronunciation, and they're also going to have various transcripts that you can listen to and different subtitles in many languages. You can look for the academic documentaries or lectures on sites such as YouTube. Also, you can go directly to university websites and you might find them posted on there as well. Next, we're going to talk about practicing targeted exercises. You can find short audio clips, for example, 1 to 2 minutes, and then practice dictation or transcription. Listen and try to write down every single word you can. Then compare what you wrote down to the actual transcript. This forces you to really focus in on individual words and sounds. Have you ever tried gap fill exercises? Many ESL websites offer listening exercises where you can listen to that content and then you can fill in the blanks on that text. You can also do question answering, which is where you're going to use resources that provide audio clips, and then after you can answer some questions to check your comprehension. The fifth thing that we'll talk about today is try to find real English language conversations. This is going to be the most authentic, and in some ways I think this can be the most challenging part of improving your English listening. Some of the ways that you can do this are to try to find language exchange partners. So what you want to do is find native English speakers who want to learn your language, and then you guys can go from there. When I first moved to Japan, one of the things I did was an English-Japanese exchange where we would, of course, do the language, and then afterwards we'd have dinner together where I would have time to test out how much I improved with my Japanese with his family. For me, this was a once a week, every Monday thing, so what you can do is just try to schedule a regular session and then go from there with your language, and you can also learn English. Are there any English-speaking meetup groups in your area? You can look for groups that are focused on hobbies, cultural exchange, or social activities that are all spoken in English. I didn't have necessarily an English-speaking meetup group, but I did take part in an all-Japanese basketball team when I first got here, and this was a good way for me to learn Japanese. So try to find groups such as this where it really focuses in on your hobbies, on the type of social activities that you're into, or different types of cultural exchange. And you can also practice with native speakers online or in person. There's so many online platforms now or English language schools, so see if you can find an online platform or a language school in your area if possible, and then go from there. Last but not least, let's talk about some general tips for success. First, consistency is key, so even 15 to 30 minutes of consistent English listening study each day is better than just taking a long study session once a week or once a month. Don't be afraid to re-listen. It's completely normal and beneficial to go over the same material over and over as many times as you need until you get it down. Don't aim for 100% understanding immediately. It's okay not to catch every word. Like I said before, focus on the overall meaning and then little by little gradually increase your comprehension and listening level. Also, make sure to vary your sources. Expose yourself to different accents, for example, American English, British, Australian. Also, you can think about different listening speeds, different topics. You just want to give yourself an overall big picture and expose yourself to as many different types of English speaking as possible. Also, you can connect listening to other skills. As you listen, try to identify new vocabulary and grammatical structures that you've never heard before. Use these not only just in your listening practice, but in your speaking and writing practice as well. Okay, by actively engaging in these various methods, I hope that you'll see improvement in your English skills over time. If you got some good benefit out of this video, how about share this with someone else that you think it would help? If you're interested in learning more English with me, how about clicking right here? Thank you guys so much for listening to this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. See you.